Hey guys, what's up? This is Insanity, and I got another gameplay of Titanfall on a PC. I'm using the Hemlok Assault Rifle, which is a 3-burst weapon. And surprisingly, I'll actually consider this as probably my favorite weapon of this game. Even though it's odd, considering that I'm not usually fond of burst weapons on any kind of FPS. Even on console where you have aim assist, and using burst weapons is a little easier compared to PC where you need much more precise movements and aiming. I already told you guys about my aiming issue with mouse, where I usually make 45-degree sweeps with it, and that means I'm usually doing more vertical tracking than horizontal tracking. So if a target's moving from left to right horizontally, especially in a game like Titanfall where people can jump around and go pretty fast, I usually have trouble aiming at these kind of people, and fully automatic would be a much more preferred option to deal with such an issue. But in case of the Hemlok Assault Rifle, there's one thing that makes it a little easier to use compared to burst weapons in FPS, and that's the fact that when you aim down the sights, your movement is not restricted. In Call of Duty, any weapon that was not an SMG or pistol had limited movement once you aim down the sights of the weapon. That means that for a burst rifle, if you're in close quarters with someone who's using a fully automatic weapon like an SMG or an assault rifle, you're usually a sitting duck once you aim down the sights, and if you miss a burst or don't kill the enemy with a burst or two, then they can pretty much dance in circles around you and kill you, and therefore even if you're trying to hip fire your burst weapon, you pretty much are going to lose most of the time. In the case of the Hemlok Assault Rifle, there is either no movement restriction when aiming down the sights, or there's very limited movement restriction, and therefore you can partially strafe around as you try and deal with someone at close quarters while firing bursts. Also, the burst delay in between bursts isn't as excessive as the burst weapons in Call of Duty, and therefore you can sort of use it like a semi-auto and press the trigger repeatedly to send in as many bursts as you possibly can. So that means you have a fighting advantage, or a fighting edge at close quarters against fully automatics. And therefore the Hemlok Assault Rifle as a burst weapon is probably the most ideal burst weapon you could possibly use in an FPS, and I like it a lot. It also only needs 4 shots to kill, which means that you need 2 bursts to kill, but with the reasonably fast fire rate and the burst delay not being large, it's not really an issue most of the time. Of course, fully automatics will have the advantage over a burst weapon, but at least you have a fighting chance, and that's why I like it a lot. It has a good damage profile, which is reasonable, and the fire rate's pretty good. And it's also a laser, so that's always a good thing. That's a gameplay and commentary. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and Insanity is out.